You live. Hello.
All right.
What you saying? What you been up to? You braggle?
Not an awful lot. 2 seconds.
Sure thing. Sure thing, honey bun. Welcome to It's Not the Base Show, but that is from Adaptive.
You knew that I just kicked Adam out, but I needed to give him sitting out the door before he came back in and got involved.
Hell yeah. Sausages and honey buns.
How's your weekend? How's your week been?
How's my week been? My week has been different, interesting. Working. Do you know what? I had a really. I think I might have told you, but I'll tell you again. I had an old member from my old gym from like a decade ago. Get in contact with me because he had seen some of the successes of the powerlifters that I'm coaching, and he asked me to run a program for him. So
that's awesome.
That was nice. I hadn't spoken to him for about 10 years, so it was cool to interact and be able to like loot round and then help him out, which was cool. And then the gym's been buzzing. We've been busy. I say we, Dan and Aaron, have been busy moving the stuff around, getting the name boards, doing all this kind of stuff. Sean, you need to change your picture to something that actually looks like you, because that looks more like Jeremy than you. But yeah, hello. Thanks for joining us. But no, all good. What else? I started off the week with the intention of doing like some cardio. And I've done one cardio session this week. And that was just 6 lots of 1 minute on, 1 minute off ski. And I did 26 calories each time. So 26 calories in a minute, 1 minute rest. And I did that 6 times. It felt all right. But that's it. But yesterday I did, fuck man, my session yesterday was amazing. You know, when you have one of those strength sessions where you walk out and you feel like my legs were jacked, like proper pumped.
That's the only type of strength sessions
is my signal all right?
Yeah, signal's fine. Yeah, why? Am I delayed?
I think my signal might be bad.
2 seconds, I'll pull it up on YouTube.
Hang on. Someone in the chat, if you can hear me, say, Jake, you're fine.
And if you can hear me, say, sausages.
Hang on a minute. What is your ping?
Jake doesn't understand that. That's fine. Sean says neither.
Blah, blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, you can hear me. Can you hear me? Neither of you are delayed, but I can't hear you. That's really weird.
You can't hear me?
Oh, hello. I can see you're moving again. Yeah, I can now. There we go. I don't know why I couldn't see you or hear you.
That's weird.
Never mind. We're back on. Don't worry. My session yesterday was fucking amazing. You know, when your legs are just jacked, I felt like Lee Priest, right?
Audio.
We're good.
Yeah. I'm just checking my audio. On you go.
Oh, right. Okay. But like, have you heard about that legendary set he did? He did like 1,017 reps on a leg press. And it was at like 450 pounds or something. And someone said to him, I bet you can't do 200 reps. And he did it. And then it was like, I'm going to do 300 and then 400. And he kept going and he did like well over 1,000 reps on this leg press. I felt like that. I did doubles on deadlift. I did 3 doubles that are heavy. And then I did RDLs relatively heavy, like real slow, like shaky leg, like reps at like 70 kilos, but it was like 20 reps at a time. And I did kickbacks and then I did single leg RDLs. I did something else as well, but fuck me, man. I walked out of there feet. You know, when you just have a really good leg day, Like it doesn't hurt. There's no pain in the knees. Everything's good, and you just like walk out feeling jacked, and glutes are massive.
That's all I can do at the moment. But I'm pretty sure
Mm.
Lee Priest was coached or he did work with at one point Tom Platz. I think that's where he got that like really
Yeah.
fucking like high volume, like insane kind of leg workout.
Probably.
Because Tom Platz used to start with like sets of like 50 to 100 on the hack squat, but like up on the balls of his feet. You know, like a what are they called? Hindu squat. But
Yeah.
they would do them on the leg press, not the leg press, the hack squat.
Oh, here we go. Hang on, I'll send it on here.
We've got this really, really cool piece of kit at the gym. It's Swedish, and it's
House Mafia.
And it's called a hip press, and it's from a company called Jim Leco. And it is the nicest like leg bit of kit I've ever used.
Let me just bring this up. Hang on. Bish, bash, bosh. Here we go. Right, is that on the screen? At the stage. Here we go. So 1,017 reps in one set. Someone said, but you can't do 200. Lead to then 300, then 500. He just kept going. I couldn't feel my feet. Pure pain tolerance. I love that. His calves are amazing. He just legs. Good. Love it. So yeah. Anyway, so what's going on with your what's going on with your shoulder? Are you willing to discuss it, or is it just keep it?
I don't care about discussing it. I don't know what's going on with it. I'm waiting for an MRI. I tore my rotator cuff and I had a anterior labrum tear in the middle of December. What date was it? It was like the 16th of December or something, just about the week before Christmas. And my arm was in a sling for a few weeks, and then I injected a lot of BPC 157 and TB 500 thinking that would help. But the physio and Jack, remember Jack Gann that we had on the podcast prior, he thinks I've maybe healed it too fast, and it's like scar tissue now. But the physio thinks it's structural damage to the joint because I've had an AC excision in the shoulder in the past. You know. But apart from that, it's fine.
Apart from that, you're all good.
Yeah.
Rubbish.
Not really been able to do anything.
But you're doing what you can.
Yeah.
No.
Doing training around it. But my next event is a 9-hour running event, so I don't really need my shoulders for that.
Do you ever feel your shoulder when you're running?
It was sore the first few weeks, like really sore. So I was just swapping out running for bike work.
Okay.
Now it's not. Sign up for back-to-back Hyrox. I know. I've actually made the sensible decision to pull out of the next Hyrox that I was signed up for because it's in like 2 weeks.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Do you know
Sean, I dead hang every day.
Yeah. I looked at Athex in Birmingham in August. Because I'm thinking I need a goal, like a target or something. But the only tickets left are the mixed pairs. So I would need to get a lady person involved.
What about getting your wife to do it?
She can't run.
Did you not run?
She's not. No, she's terrible at running. Like, it's really, really strange to explain, but her breathing is perfect in the water.
I was going to say, you'd think she'd have good control of her breathing from being a synchronized swimmer.
Yeah. But when she's running, she's terrible at her breathing pattern. She doesn't know when to like her breathing techniques shit. Like we did a lot, and she did like 5Ks and stuff when we were training for CrossFit, and like she did a triathlon in prep for London. Like she did it, but she really fucking struggled with the breathing on the running as opposed to the swimming, because like they used to do 3 times a week in prep for London. They would do 90-minute freestyle in the pool every morning to warm up. So they would just do 90 minutes, no stop, up, down in the 50-meter pool, like without stopping 3 times a week. So that she's a very, very, very good swimmer. But I've got no idea why her breathing's that bad for running. I don't know.
No idea. Have you ever tried to do nasal only, like breathing when you're running? It's like keeping your mouth shut the whole time and running at a pace where you can just breathe through your nose.
No, I've never done it intentionally. I've done it like as in like going out to do it. I've done it during workouts to slow me down a bit and to like calm myself down, but no.
I did. Well, I had it programmed for me this week for like 90 minutes nasal only.
Okay.
Like you have to run really, really slow just to do nasal only. I guess it's a way of keeping people actually like running in that like zone 2 kind of pace.
Yeah.
Because they have to fucking slow down to be able to like just breathe through their nose.
Yeah. I had this really weird rhythm when I played football, like because I played centre mid, so I was constantly running up and down, up and down. And it would be two exhales, 1 inhale. So it'd be like that. And for me, I found that over the years, that massively helped me when I was running. So I kind of incorporated that when I started training for 5Ks and when I started doing CrossFit and a lot more running, because it naturally, just because I was playing football and doing CrossFit at the same time for about 3 years. And man, my fitness football got immensely better. Like it was, people got annoyed. I was like a fucking like annoying wasp in the center of middle, just going back and forward, up, down, chasing people. They were like, fuck me, when are you going to slow down? I was like, fuck off. But yeah, it was, and then I gave up football because I'm assuming he's asking you, because I've got no idea.
Well, I was going to ask you if you knew yours. Mine currently sitting at 46. I don't know if, well, I know that's not very good. I think it's better than average. Let me look it up. VO2 max. I don't know.
Do you remember Wayne Rooney's? Was it Wayne Rooney had a VO2 max? Like an insane, was it Wayne Rooney? It might not have been.
Good is 45 to 55. Excellent would be 55 or above. An elite endurance athlete would be 70 plus. But I don't know how to accurately measure mine. Mine's, I just assume my Garmin does it, but I literally just shows. I don't think I wear my Garmin enough for it to actually have an accurate reading. I'd like to go and get it done.
Yeah,
52. Oh. I was going to say, I'm sure Garmin probably just use a similar kind of algorithm. I would expect mine to be higher than fucking 46, like especially if Sean's is 52.
Yeah, I'm not being funny, but like Apple Watch is so like elite Premiership
in the respect of it's always giving you that number. So even if it's not accurate, if it's going up, great. If it's going down, like obviously, if you're not doing the correct workouts, it can get really skewed. I don't think mine will be going up at the moment because I'm doing loads of like low intensity running.
Yeah, who the fuck was it?
Was mine is down.
Yeah, I would imagine. I played centre mid from like 6 years old till I was 30. And I was known for having a good engine, which is why CrossFit came to me. So Ronaldo had, when he was at elite, a VO2 max of 75.
Yeah, well, they're doing a lot.
The more that I learn about,
they're doing a lot of like high intensity like interval work. Their running is done at like high bursts, you know.
Yeah. But this is the thing.
And
that's
and
just one metric. That was running, like his VO2 max. His power is insane. He could jump higher than most NBA players. Like, he's got a VO2 max of an elite cyclist. Like, when you look at all the stats of Ronaldo, it is fucking nuts. I would put him up there as one of the greatest athletes of any sport ever. Like, hitting all those metrics at the absolute elite level across a lot of metrics. Like, what was it? He was quicker than. It was it Mason that said something? We were talking to someone a little while ago about like the sprinter. There was an NFL player who weighed 300 pounds. It might have been Sean actually, like saying how quick he was, like at his quickest, and Ronaldo was like quicker, and Ronaldo's VO2 max is like an elite like endurance runner VO2 max, and he can jump higher than an NBA player. Just when you think about all the elite stats that he had, it's mental. Like, he's a specialist, but across a lot of domains. And by the way, Zlatan Ibrahimovic doing CrossFit, like, why they're not jumping on that, why they're not fucking reposting that shit, why they're not doing it, it's got to be because he's not in an American sport.
Here we go, look.
Like, he's not known in America that much.
Ronaldo had recorded sprint speeds of 33 plus kilometers per hour.
Yeah.
Like, so like, you know, it's like small bursts of speed. Like, he was getting up to like over 33 kilometers per hour.
Yeah. Like that, and a VO2 max of fucking 70 plus. And then he could jump higher than an NBA player. Like, and then his accuracy. Like, the power in his legs.
Meters. Yeah.
Like,
which is what? What's that? That must be about 40 inches. 38, 39. Someone tell me.
But
I just pulled that.
Yeah, pulled out your ass. But no, but like.
No, I pulled up his stats, but I don't know what it is in inches. It said 80 centimeters.
All right.
I looked at
It's funny because, like, if you tell me someone is or something is, I don't know, 20 inches or 50 inches, I can gauge how tall that is. If you tell me 100 centimeters or 150 centimeters, I can gauge how much that is. But tell me to cross-reference the two of them, I can't.
Yeah, I can't either. I could, if you said, when you said 20 inches, I'm thinking like, right, that's like 4 penis lengths.
Yeah, but like, so, you've got context.
It's a high jump.
But like a ruler, do you remember like the school rulers?
Yeah, I was using one the other day.
Yeah, they're 12 inches or 30 centimeters. Like that's how long they are. And then, because we use both, but I can't cross-reference them. Like, whereas with kilos and pounds, because of the fucking divvies in this chat still using pounds, it's the 21st century. They're one of only 2 countries left on planet Earth using it. And even their fucking weightlifting and powerlifting teams use kilos.
I had to tell one of my clients to change her Train Heroic to metric system the other day because she had set her profile to Imperial. So every time she was logging weights at the gym, it was coming up in pounds. But I program in kilos, obviously, because we fucking live in the UK. And then it kept on converting it to pounds. So it looked like she was like lifting like 11.7 pounds. And I was like, what the fuck is that? Like, when I was seeing her, like starts coming in. Yeah. Freedom units.
Freedom, yeah. Of course, that old chestnut. So one thing I do want to talk about in a minute is Norway. Because
what about Norway?
Norway. Mana. I'll bring it up. So basically, the algorithm on the Continuum Instagram account is very, very, very different from outside the box, for a number of reasons. But recently, because of the Winter Olympics is on, obviously. I don't know if anyone cares about that other than ice hockey in the chat here. But Norway have been dominating. Like, there's this Norwegian skier and he's won 6 golds across 6 different events. Like, and then you've got, like, there's a load of other sports that they're just absolutely dominating. And Norway have got a population of some silly, tiny little number, like 6.5 million people. Like, it's not a very big country. And I was looking into like Norway as a country and why all of a sudden they're getting all these golds, right? And because of that, my algorithm is just kicking up tons and tons and tons of posts about the same topic. I'm not going to pull all of these up. But why? Why is that mad? You've literally got like 2 mountain ranges in the country and you've got 360 million people. But anyway, so basically what it is, I'll bring up this post. Hang on.
You could go skiing any time in the US, Sean.
And what about Aspen? Like, you've got loads of ski resorts. Like, anyway, clearly not. I'm jealous of Norway, and this is why. So, Norway is dominating the Winter Olympics. So it all comes down to their youth sports program, right?
I've seen you share this the other day.
Yeah. So, participation trophies for all kids. Now, initially, it sends a shudder down your back, right? It's like, ugh, participation trophy thing, right? No scorekeeping until 13. No national travel competitions in youth sports, so they're all internal. No posting of youth results online. The motto of the Norwegian sports programs for the youth is joy of sport for all. They let kids be kids when they're young. Now, if you look at these stats, from a country with 6.5 million people, they've got Warholm, who's the hurdles world record holder, Erling Haaland, who's one of the best football players in the world, Victor Hovland, top 10 golfer, Casper Ruud reached number 2 in tennis, triathletes dominating. That's outside, 5 million. That's outside of the Winter Olympics, right? Their CrossFitters are doing very, very well. But not keeping score, giving out trophies, that's anti-American, except it actually works. Intrinsically motivated football players. So the way that they've done it, I won't read all of this, right, is, and I've got loads and loads of fucking other posts and everything from like saying the same shit, is what they've done, they've held kids accountable to effort and RPE. So they've talked about RPE with kids and perceived effort and the joy of playing, right? And what they found, this was in the mid 2000s. So this was in 2005 to 2010. And 20 years later, they are punching well above their weight. And they've produced, and what was the name of that family that are like the mid-distance runners in the 800s? There's like brothers and a sister. Do you know the ones I mean?
I have no idea.
Someone will know what I mean. There's
in this chat.
Yeah.
No, there's Henrik Ingebrigtsen, is it?
Yes, yeah. Ingebrigtsen. Yeah, so yeah, Ingebrigtsen. Yeah. So the Ingebrigtsen family, they're all of this heritage.
Was that the dude that he helped his brother cross the finish line in one race?
No? Maybe. Yeah. There's 3 brothers and a sister, and they're like, they got the 2 world records in the 5K, the fucking like 1200 meters, the 800. They are absolutely dominant as a family on the track. And they're from this same legacy effect of the school and the youth system. They've just pumped all effort into teaching kids the joy of being in sport and the perceived effort rather than the outcome. And it's this experiment that has massively paid off, like hugely paid off. But what they haven't done is just gone, yay, trophies for everyone, and then left it there.
There's a documentary about them on Prime.
Is there? Oh, cool.
Yeah. Born to Run. There's 3 brothers. Just look them up.
Yeah. There's 3 brothers and a sister.
There might be a sister as well. Yeah.
Mm.
That's cool. I'm going to watch that.
I've kind of done a deep dive just this week on it, just looking into it because it's fascinating. And like, you know, the BF3, the IF3, like International Functional Fitness Federation, like Kristen Holter is obviously a bit older, but she's Norwegian. They have got the highest uptake in the NF3 and the IF3, and the Norwegians are dominant in that. And the country have put a lot of money and funding into getting kids into the grassroots of functional fitness. So there's this theory that in like 5-10 years, there's going to be a hell of a lot of Norwegian CrossFit athletes that are coming through at the top end because of this as well. But it's just really interesting. Like,
I'm trying to think what CrossFitters are Norwegian? Matilda Garns. Who else?
There was just Kristen Holter, I think, from I mean, she's retired now, but she was obviously dominant. Well, from Europe anyway. She went to the games like 6 times or something. But the teams, Norway do quite well in the teams. Like Oslo are constantly up there. Like Oslo Black are always up the top there. But that's not off the back of this new legacy program they've put in. It's a little bit like Australia had that when they put a lot of money into like putting kids into sports that they enjoyed as like 5 or 6 or 7 and testing them at school age and then letting them be free to have fun. And then at the Olympics in Rio, I think it was, because it was for Sydney. They put a lot of effort into legacy of it. Matilda Garns, yeah, CrossFit Oslo. So Oslo doing well.
Was that 8th in Europe? She would have just missed the games last year. No, 2024, not last year. 2024. What did she do last year? Ooh.
Don't know. Probably sat out.
She might have been a World Fitness Project, maybe. That's interesting though.
It is, and the more you look into it, because initially it's one of those ones where it gets you back up a bit. You're like, participation trophies, ugh, gross. And then you actually look at, they didn't just do yay trophies for everyone. It was like, look, we want you to participate. We want you to try these things. We want you to try new sports. And so that was one So that was one of the things to do with that.
But it's kind of like, I'm sure you probably share this sentiment as well. As a coach, I don't care about my clients' you know, if it's a powerlifting meet, I don't care about their total. I care about how they've carried themselves, you know, over their training block, and then how, like, the effort that they actually put in on, like, you know, through their training block and then leading up to the day. Like, I don't care if they gave it everything for, like, you know, like 12 weeks leading up to it and bombed out at the comp, but they tried their best. I wouldn't care, like, as long as they had put in that effort. Like, obviously I'd care that they bombed out of a comp, but but if that was the best that they could do, like, on the day, it's like that's their best foot forward. Whereas, like, if they just kind of phoned it in, you know, for 12 weeks and then showed up and kind of half-assed a comp and then expected me to celebrate it, I'm not there to do that. Just like a High Rocks or like a half marathon or a marathon, if they kind of phone in sessions and don't tick the boxes and then expect me to, like, give them a pat on the back at the end of it, it's like, no, that's not what I'm here for. But if they try really hard, I don't care what their time is.
Yeah, precisely. Like, you can only do as well as you can, and if you see someone putting in the effort, that's the goal. That's what the dream is as a coach, to know that your person's putting in the effort. Not everyone's going to winner. Not everyone's going to be that winner. No. So the other thing that goes hand in hand with what you're saying is this. So I'll read this post out. So it's should your child specialize early in one sport or play multiple sports? So there's this huge meta-analysis of 9,000 athletes found that early specialization can lead to better performance early on. That was a review, but also comes with a high risk of injury, burnout, and quitting sports altogether. On the flip side, kids who played multiple sports were more likely to reach elite levels later in life. Why? They stayed healthier, avoided burnout, and were still in the game when it mattered the most. And it talks about, as parents and as coaches, forcing your kids to be to perform excellence and specialize young often leads to burnout. And if you want your kid to be an elite sports person in a particular sport, don't start them to specialize in that sport until later in life. And it's really funny because there's another video that went hand in hand with this. Is my screen still sharing this? Brilliant. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Where is it? I've posted so many here. So this is really, really cool. Consequently, it's beneficial for young athletes to participate in various sports to meet interactive. Yeah, exactly, Abby. So this one, Maddie Shafrick turned pro at 14 in snowboarding. By 20, she was consumed by anxiety that would, as soon as the judges were watching, I'd crumble and kind of disassociate. She quit. She became a plumber. And then at the age of 31, she's come back and she's at the Olympic level because she just took time away. And when she was matured, like mentally, had got a rounded personality and had gone and done plumbing and been a real human for a while, she came back and she dominated, and now she's at the Olympics.
But she probably came back because she still loved the sport. Whereas when all that external, you know, like that outside pressure, probably from like not her love of snowboarding, but because she was good at it, and it's like everyone telling her, you can do this, like this is what you should be doing.
Yeah.
It creates that environment where it's too much for someone of that age. We've seen that in you know, the sport of CrossFit.
Exactly. The one that comes screaming to my mind is obviously Mal Bryan. So this is Klæbo. So Johannes Klæbo, 10 times Olympic gold medalist. My childhood training was all about fun and play. The systematic way of training started when I was 15 and increased as a junior. We took it one step at a time, tried to be patient. In Norway, we followed guidelines from the Norwegian federations about how to increase conditioning training one step each year until you reach your senior level. So this is that Norwegian thing. This is another post about it. It's talking about exactly the same thing. There's no medals at young ages, looking at children's rights in sports, friendship and fun. Kids have much fun, has much of a right to help choose and plan their activities as the parents and coaches. So if you've got kids, if you've taken them to a football match or let's say the CrossFit gym, and we've naturally started doing this with the kids, when they're at the gym, it's like, what do you want to do today? And Donnie will be like, I want to do the thing with the dumbbell, or I want to do bench press, or Athena will go, I want to be on the C2 bike and I want to do some pull-ups. Cool, brilliant. How do you make a workout out of this? They construct it, and it's fun and exciting. They're learning, they're moving, and they're doing what they want. They're too young to be formalized and put in structure like that, because they will get burnout and they will get bored. And this is the other one that Norway did. They put fucking a lot of money into access for kids. So kids that couldn't financially access it, they funded it. They made sure there's platforms in place so that all kids had the ability to go and participate.
I was just going to say, all of the sports that we're seeing, they're not cheap sports. Ice hockey's really expensive.
Yeah.
Like skiing, snowboarding, everything's, it costs a lot.
Yeah, exactly. But this is what it is. They put money into the country paying for it for access. And it's paid off massively. They call it the joy of sport. And
I think, the US probably put a lot of money into their, like, obviously they do, we know they do, into youth sports, but the UK really kind of misses on that, don't they?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I was talking to Hannah about this earlier. We're sort of somewhere between nowhere and nothing with our systems. Like this is another one about, it's got nothing to do with genetics. There's thousands of the same. Another one, the US cannot do sports like Norway. I like that one, by the way. Let's just bring that up just so people can have a look at that quickly.
4 days.
Yeah, and then another thing, some of the best players are still invisible at 13. So not physical enough, untouchable in 18 months. And it's saying about on that one, there's so many about the same thing, but they're saying that Katie was this. So Katie didn't start synchronized swimming until she was 15. Like she was an elite gymnast and then an elite swimmer. And then EIS, England Institute of Sport, said, all right, using TAS, was talent transfer system. They identify people with traits from other sports and try them at other stuff and apply that excellence in other fields. And a majority of, there was somewhere in there, but like over 50% of all Olympians didn't start life specializing in their sport. They specialized in something else before transferring over to the sport that they ended up being excellent at.
Not
Which is
true.
a
Like
mad,
that.
yeah,
Like
yeah, which is a mad stat. I think, hang on. But yeah, where it was. But yeah, find it. It will be somewhere. Talking about parents on the sidelines screaming and shouting at their kids. My dad was guilty of that.
that'll be Sean at the moment.
Yeah. But it's funny because you like, you gotta keep, you have to get your kids into sport early. Like if you can't just not do sport as a kid that is able to do sport. You can't withhold them from a young age. You want to be active, but I guess the definition of sport is important there. Like when you define sport as competitive physical exercise with leagues, rankings, governing bodies, that kind of thing, that can all kick in. That ranking and that travel and the international level can all come later. It's not important when you're young. Like you got, like they've said, the joy of sport, like the joy of being active. You need that. You see it with kids playing. Basically, need to play. They need play when they're young.
See,
and they need to, yeah.
By the time I was in secondary school, I'd already kind of given up on a lot of sports because when you're in school, you're getting picked. You know, whether you're in the team or not.
Yeah.
And by the time I left primary school, I wasn't in most of the teams because
no,
I was a big fat shit. So. You know what I mean? So then I gave up. Apart from playing tennis, I was really good at tennis. But again, there was only 4 of us picked for that. So then think of all the people that were excluded from that.
Yeah,
probably wanted to play as well. I didn't really start taking sports seriously until I was in my 20s.
Yeah. Yeah, I've found the
20 years city leagues have basically died. Would that be like our Sunday league stuff?
Possibly. The average age of the Olympians in Tokyo of specializing was 15.6 years old. So the average age of all Olympians at the Tokyo Games when they started to specialize in their sport that they competed at was 15 and a half years old. So they didn't specialize in their sport till they were 15 and a half. And you think about all the kids that are under 15, that a parents are driving them to like specialize in a sport under the age of 15, for the sake of thinking that they're going to be doing that when they're adults and they're specializing. It is counterintuitive, isn't it? You think but there's certain sports like gymnastics, you have to specialize early. But we've seen that, like in Paris, the average age of the female all-round gymnasts went up from something like 17 in Atlanta in 96 to like 26 in Paris. It went up by a decade, the average age of the participant, which is crazy.
Yeah, I just went to look at what the average age of the athletes at the Winter Games this year was, but there's nothing defined. But they said the youngest athlete is an American. She's 15 years old, and then they've got a 54-year-old Olympic athlete as well. That's a curler.
Yeah.
I think of curling like I think of darts.
You know what?
Did you see
curling
the guy
for me?
Curling's been all over the news. Go and say, and I'm going to try and find it. Did you see that? I'm pretty sure he was Norwegian, but he kind of did the 360 spin. Oh, I'm going to show you. You've not seen it.
I can't really hear you that well. Don't know why.
You can't hear me?
Oh, I can now. Yeah, there you are. So I don't know what's going on. Anyway, carry on.
Wait.
Sorry.
This dude, I'll share it before I start playing it. I
watched the curling last night, the men's final, where
Did you watch the Norwegian dude?
what, screaming? Like swearing at someone else?
No, I'll show you it. I'm trying to pull it up.
Okay.
I don't know why it keeps giving me Reddit threads. I don't want to open up Reddit.
There's a really jacked guy from Canada. But curling's a bit weird, you know. Like, I'm watching it and I'm thinking,
Here we go.
Yeah.
Oh, TikTok's unavailable. What is that? I need to pull it up on Reddit. Fuck's sake. I will pull it up on Reddit.
So Sean, whilst Jon's doing that, we have like county leagues over here because England's obviously quite a small place. We have like county leagues. So my old county was Berkshire, which, by the way, the name, the Burke, if you call someone a Burke, I don't know if you have that over there, but you might go, oh, you Burke. Burke is, because I know you say it wrong, but like Berkshire, it's Berkshire. It's pronounced bark, like a dog barks, Berkshire. It's Berkshire. A Burke is the old English name for a hunt, Berkshire hunt. Burke is a Berkshire hunt, which is Cockney rhyme slang for something else. So if you call someone a Burke, you're calling them a nasty C word. Just thought I'd throw it in there.
We can swear on this show.
I know, but I can't bother.
Right, so you didn't watch this, Nat?
No.
It's fucking well cool.
Can you expand the script? What the? Why?
Do you want to see it again?
Yeah. What? Yeah, he just did it for the hell of it.
That's good.
Good.
I like that.
Yeah, it's good. Bop.
Yeah, the game was sealed.
Is that Tyler Watkins?
We thought, did we not think Tyler was going to come on tonight?
Yeah. I could invite him. Should I message him?
I don't think he'll come on at this short notice.
They might.
We do have some cool guests lined up.
Yeah, very cool.
Not Thunder Bro.
That was fun.
It's probably about a year since. Well, do you know what? It was a year last Thursday since we had Annie on.
Really? Bloody hell.
Mm-hmm.
She did. What did she bench? 130 or something the other day. What I saw her.
Yeah.
Did she do 130? Here's a question then.
Annie is a freak.
How do you get rid of the Exorcist bench press? How do we get rid of that? I don't like it.
My question is, why do you want to?
Because it's not like, it's a massive loophole. It's, for me, it's like the butterfly kipping. Like if I could, I'd get rid of it. It hits this movement standards, but I don't like it because it massively I want to come up with an algorithm where each individual athlete has to move through a particular range of motion of distance.
But then you're like looking at things like limb length.
Yeah,
like
I want that.
How big someone's, like, rib cage, all that kind of stuff is. But
yeah, I want that.
They've just got I think the new bench standards is pretty good. Like with elbows having to come below that parallel line. I think it limits. I think it does limit how far they can arch. At the last few comps I've been at, I've seen people that used to have a crazy arch not have as bad.
I tell you the thing is, though,
I've seen them getting called for it.
So, like, I talk about off air. I talk about butterfly, and I talk about people that if they had to do strict, like they wouldn't get anywhere near like certain workouts near other people that can do strict. Like they're butterflying because they lack strength. It's like a loophole into being able to do volume pull-ups. I would rather see the numbers brought down on pull-ups in workouts and it's strict than keeping the volume high and people butterflying. So, for example, I don't know, a workout with like 40 pull-ups in it and 3 rounds of other movements. I would rather see people jump up and do 15 strict and have to slow it down and do it in the same time domain as 40 butterfly. Like, I would much rather see that in the same time domain, but less reps done. Because for me, a strict pull-up is so much harder than a butterfly pull-up. They're not equivalent. Like, they're not the same thing. And when we stipulate pull-ups, I really do feel like I would rather see. And but again, I was talking to Hannah about this, and it's a bias. It's me because I don't want to do butterfly. I'm putting limitations on other people. But for me, it's work capacity hitting a certain standard, but just change the standard. Like the whole butterfly thing annoys me because it's a loophole. And for me, the T-spine, basically breaking your back to get into a position with all the theatre that goes around it, and then to have like a 2-inch range of motion when it's not because you're physically unable to get into a position. It's like if you're a disability athlete or you're tied to the bench or anything like that for para. It's the fact that people have figured out, and it's always, you never get the real super heavyweight men doing it. It's the smaller people.
When I used to go up to Ram CrossFit, it was called KCT back in the day, and he's actually been my coach since that day. The very first day he walked into the CrossFit gym, so it was his very first CrossFit workout. He'd obviously done fitness for years. He was a coach, but the very first time he'd stepped foot in a CrossFit gym, the workout was Fran, and he'd never been shown how to kip before, didn't know anything, didn't know what butterfly pull-ups were, anything like that. But he ended up beating like some of the guys that were doing kipping pull-ups in the workout because he was that good at strict work. Now he's obviously fucking like butterflies everything, but I've never done butterfly. My shoulders couldn't hack that.
No,
but and like that's what.
Yeah,
I would say. Sorry, Sean. I would say butterfly is probably more dangerous because people are doing butterfly before they even have that strength and like the structure to be doing it. Because I know I knew I could kip before I could do kip and pull-ups before I had 5 strict. And then because you get the kip and pull-ups, you just revert to it.
Yeah.
Whereas now I would like, I don't kip.
No.
Unless
but it's basically a needs analysis done on the individual athlete as to why they need to do certain movements and hit standards and working at the certain capacities. Does strict Fran miss the stimulus? The stimulus of Fran with kipping, yes, it massively misses the stimulus because you're not moving as fast. Although I'm putting limitations on someone. Miko Salo did chest to bar Fran in the basement on Sisu documentary. He basically did it strict and he did it at 60 kilos and it was like 4 minutes something. He could hit the stimulus of what we would do for Fran, but not at the elite level. I think to get the same stimulus, you would need to be doing a certain number of pull-ups in the same time domain. So the only way to do this would be, I would ask each individual athlete to do Fran kipping if they're able to, get a set look at the time it took them to do 21, 15, 9 pull-ups, and then figure out the number of unbroken pull-ups they would need to hang on to the bar for to do that amount of time. And it might turn out that individual being, I don't know, 12 pull-ups, 9 pull-ups, 6 pull-ups. in the same, or 3 pull-ups, whatever it might be. The number of pull-ups would need to be decreased in order to hit the time domain that you'd usually see for Fran. But the stimulus of Fran is going hard as you can. And you're not going to do that if you're doing 20 or 59 strict pull-ups, because you're going to have to break. Most people aren't going to be able to do 20 or 59 unbroken strict pull-ups. Most people aren't. I have this at the moment. I'm going through this phase of, I put a post on Facebook today. I never write on Facebook ever. Like, I haven't done it for like 10 years. And I wrote this post. I could read it now, actually. Do you want me to read it to you?
I was just pulling it up.
Oh, right. Okay, cool.
Because I was like, oh, you put one on Facebook.
Do you want me to, or are you going to do it?
Yeah, you can pull it up if you've got it. I was just logging in.
I've got it right here. How do I go to see more butts? On
the volume trap. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, right. So, have I got it on here? Here we go. Right, so add stage. So, the volume trap. Can't remember the last time I wrote, but anyway. Over the last 18 months, our industry has seen a shift in participation and traffic towards a certain corner. I am CrossFit through and through and will always advocate for constantly varied functional fitness performed at high intensity as the golden standard for optimal health and therefore performance for the everyday person. If anyone can prove otherwise, please let me know. However, the recent uptake of longer form races has meant that people have stepped away from prioritizing nutrition, strength, and quality and replaced it with sheer volume for no other reason than I want to move more. I understand the sentiment, but unfortunately, when we have a gold standard and we see people moving away from it, it's at least worth the conversation. We know that fitness isn't being able to run. We know being strong isn't being able to bench press 200 kilos. Those are indicators of particular elements of those values, but they aren't themselves the very definition. They are part of it. Fitness have effectively and accurately been defined for the first time. Fit for the purpose of being the most adapted and efficient human body as possible. We as a body are generalists. Specializing is awesome, but never confuse that with fitness. Fit for purpose, sure. Back to the point, the volume trip has snared many people previously getting well adapted toward being very good generalists and adapted for life. An hour at the gym 5 times a week is the optimum for 99% of people. Showing up, hitting quality rep sets, moving with intent and intensity, being coachable and leaving to head back out to life as a better human. As coaches and trainers, we understand concerns, priorities, rationale, goals, etc. It's literally our job to hear them, process them, and offer options. We are the best in the game. Sometimes you may hear what you don't want to hear, and that's okay. So I'm kind of I'm seeing a lot of this, and I've had conversations this week with people who will remain anonymous, of people really falling off the wagon. Like, they're just going for multiple sessions a day for the sake of it, ticking boxes. There's no intensity. They're not signing up for races. They're not doing a high rocks. They're falling in the trap of, because they find it difficult, there's another option in the gym. There's another way out. Let's work for 3 hours a day at 4 out of 10 effort, and our watch will tell us how amazing we are, and we'll put it on Instagram and we'll tell everyone how amazing we're working out and we're fitness freaks. But they're moving away from the definition of fitness that we know works and is optimal.
Move Max.
Move Max.
Yeah, that's the Move Max method, is it not?
I'm trying to remember what you mean. Move Max.
They're like,
oh,
multiple sessions a day,
Malek's thing.
Yeah.
It's this thing of people like, and the whole thing of like last week, my obsession was like the whole, as long as they're moving thing. Like, I don't like it. It's part of the sentence. We need to find, like, the gold standard isn't elite CrossFit. That's not the gold standard.
That's different, Sean.
Into the games,
so that's different to Jake's point. Jake's talking about people that are just doing more, but they're not actually training with any intensity, but they're just they're phoning in sessions, but they're like posting up that they're doing like 2 a days or whatever it might be, or
99%, most people at the CrossFit gym, like I'm not talking, I did say specializing is great and everything. The 99% of people that go to the gym need an hour 5 times a week. They need to eat better. They need to move it with intensity. And I don't mean faster, I mean with intent. That intensity on a 5x5 back squat is the load that you're moving at. It's not the speed that you're moving at, it's the load. So the intensity is the variable there that people need to take into account. Now, bringing this back to Fran, for me, 99% of people going to a CrossFit gym have forgotten the principles of why they go to the gym and why they're going to CrossFit. They're not going just to move quicker. They're going to move better. And if you're flapping around like a fish, hanging on for dear life, and then bragging about a 3-minute Fran, you sort of miss the whole purpose of why you're at the gym. Like consistency, intensity. Like it starts with mechanics. And we don't need to be pushing our bodies like the elite athletes do. We've just spoken about what happens to them when they do that and they're not ready. Like me as a nearly 41-year-old, I am not ready to be an elite athlete. I'm not prepared to be an elite athlete. I go through GPP, general physical preparedness. That's what 99% of us needs to do. But the only people anyone keeps comparing themselves to are the elite or drifters that do 3 hours a day at 2 out of 10 effort and they think they're working loads. We know the gold standard isn't either one of those options. And by the way, one of the people that liked that post, messaged me, was Sarah Webster. She said bang on, who has just fucking equaled her European 100K record.
She does sessions that are 24 hours a day.
Yeah. She said to me, bang on. She is one of the 0.001%. Like, but she has clients. She has to rein them in. She says, don't compare yourself to me. You're not me. You're not an elite athlete. Like you're an everyday gym goer that wants to be healthy. You want to be fit. You want to live longer. You're not supposed to do what I'm doing.
So do you think this is where, because obviously I'm not a coach in an affiliate, I just coach individuals. Right. Do you think this is where affiliates could be doing more or doing better to have more educational content, whether it be like in a private members hub for their gym members or whatever it might be? Because it's almost like it's that forgotten 23 hours of the day. It's like they think more is better because they see everything on social media. They see everyone doing more. They see people, you know, the Hinshaws of the world and whatnot, and they think that after their class that they need to be doing 90 minutes of a zone 2 bike or a zone 2 easy run 3 times a week, whatever it might be. And that's when they're thinking like, right, I need to be doing X, Y, and Z. Whereas what they're neglecting is sleep, nutrition, hydration, trying to stress management.
Yeah.
Mate,
like I've had this conversation all week. This week, I had a lad who's a 17-year-old mid-distance runner on the island. He's a very good runner. He's got his head screwed on. He's at Millfield down in the southwest of England, which is the premier like junior college for sport, boarding school. He's back for half term at the moment. He's going back today, actually. He's a fucking really switched on guy. And he asked me, hey? Oh,
I was just going to say, technically it's free. You can fucking download it. I've downloaded the level 2 on my, I've got that printed off. I read that at home. Yeah, I'm not paying.
So, but Sean's point there is, I know what he's getting at, but like there's obviously a difference. But the reason I held that up is because the actual manual is free. Now, do affiliates? Here's a question for affiliates, and we're going to clip this. Affiliate owners, have you printed out 30 copies of the L1 manual that is available online at CrossFit.com, put them on your shelf at the gym and said, help yourself, here's the manual for what we do in this gym? Like, how many affiliates have done that? How many affiliates have broadcasted the fact that the entire CrossFit methodology is available to download as a free fucking PDF that you can print off, find, and keep at home and learn about everything? And the reason that people might not be doing that anymore is because they feel like they're not doing CrossFit. If you want to purely do CrossFit, and I'm not saying I do this, I'm not saying we do this at our gym, but the secret way that you just said about of going back to that is do CAP. if you do CAP, you are literally doing the gold standard of CrossFit methodology training. That is how you go back to how to educate. Because now on CAP, I can actually log in a minute, but on the affiliate, on the back end now, for the CAP sessions, is the coach's breakdown, the session breakdown.
Yeah, you've got your session notes, coaching cues, everything there.
Everything is on there that you can learn. And I know it's the same day, but we get it like 6 hours earlier. So it is available. But the lesson plan is the breakdown. Okay, here's the 3-minute intro. Here's the 5 minutes where you're doing the briefing. Here's this. But Seema, CAPS, you say CAPS garbage. Garbage for who? If you are eating immaculately, if you're training 5 times a week, if you are using CrossFit as a methodology for health, longevity, and fitness for outside of the gym, it is perfect for 99.9% of people, for all of those to be fit and healthy outside the gym with consistency and intensity. If someone turns up, and I totally agree with this, if someone turns up at the gym and it's a 5x5 back squat and they're a beginner, are they going to hit the stimulus of a heavy 5x5 back squat? Probably not, which is why we give them tools, instruction, cues, side jobs, other ways around to learn the intensity, to learn. It's a long-term learning curve in the gym. We've come down to this point in the market now where everyone has to do a strength, then they have to do a skill, then they have to do a 20-minute AMRAP, then they have to do a cool down, and it's way too much. It's way too much for most people.
A heavy set of 5 is all relative anyway to the person.
But this is the thing, if they're further down the line, if you've been doing CAP for 5 years, you might be at the point where you understand the stimulus of a 5x5 back squat. Like you've done it enough after 5 years where you know and you understand, because of the compounding effect of CAP. If you only do CAP for a week, if you only do it for a month, if you only do it for 6 months, you do not get to the stimulus of it. And this is the thing, yeah. And the scaled athletes are scaled. So Simon's just said 50 burpees, 50 pull-ups, 50 burpees, 50 wall balls. Scaled athletes are going to take too long on any movement. It should be firing rounds of 10. That's down to the coaching and the programmers in the gym to scale it and adapt it for the individuals. And this is why it needs to be simple. This is why it needs to be a short piece. This is why that opportunity needs to come. If you've got a 10-minute warm-up, then you're doing a snatch EMOM for 17.5 minutes. Then you're doing back squats 5x17 reps every 90 seconds. And then you've got a 22-minute AMRAP involving double unders, muscle ups, and all this kind of stuff. You might feel like you're getting something that day in the gym, but long-term, it is utter shit. It needs to be simple, basic building block approach to fitness where people are going to learn over a longer period of time and they genuinely change their lives. It's not... So Seema, CAP isn't bullshit. The application of CAP can be bullshit. That's the differentiation there. If you've got someone that knows CrossFit and knows how to program and knows how to adapt and scale and can implement it, and they're an incredible coach, CAP works. But if you don't have that, totally agree with you there. But that could be said for any session. That could be said for any program.
Any program, yeah.
Yeah.
I've not seen CAP personally. Yeah, well, no. you could literally get. I've got tons of people really fucking strong just doing like a Wendler 531.
Yeah,
like rinse and repeat 531. Rinse and repeat. Yeah. Deload when we need to. Back on 531. It's boring, but it fucking works.
Yeah, but the volume trap, what I talked about there, is people think that more is better rather than better. So you're getting people now doing. They'll come in and they'll do 20 minutes on the bike before the session, and then they'll stretch, and then they'll do the CrossFit session, and then they'll stay and do the High Rock session, and then they'll run home 5K. And it's like, if you would have driven to the gym and absolutely nailed the CrossFit session, you would be going home with a building block for next week on this cycle, and you would benefit the best out of it.
I see people, not the gym I coach at, but obviously I sometimes go into the Pure Gym, and there's people obviously that I know, like I know in life, and I follow them on Instagram, and I see them posting up. It's like Wild Wednesday, and they go to like 4 back-to-back classes on like a Wednesday night. They're there from like 5 until 9 p.m. because they go to the circuit class, then they go to spin, and then they go to like whatever fucking nonsense on in the studio, and then they finish it off with like the Pilates class, and it's like Wild Wednesday, and they always have like the screenshot of their their Apple Watch, the calories burned, and it's like fucking waste of time, because then Thursday, Friday they're absolutely fucked and don't do anything.
Mate, that's why I've got rid of my watch. I don't wear a watch anymore. Like, I do not need it to tell me I've had a good, like yesterday.
I put that on for runs. That's
well, for running for distances, if you're doing specific running, like I totally get that. Like if I ski, like if I need to ski and I need to do a certain heart rate stuff and it needs to link up to this Erg data app and the monitor, I'll wear it. But if it's like a 20-minute AMRAP, or if I'm going out for whatever, like I don't need, like yesterday I did deadlifts, I did doubles, I did 3 doubles. Can you imagine telling your average CrossFitter in the gym coming into the class, right, today we're going to build up and then you're going to do 3 doubles at 92%? They would go, okay, and then they'd do it and then they'd go, what now?
That's so weird. I had a client do doubles at 92% today.
Really? All right.
Yeah, genuinely.
Oh, that's what I did yesterday with the deadlifts.
It might even be on my story because I shared it was last night.
I literally did 92% yesterday for doubles.
That's literally what if you go on my story on my page, I've got a last night, and we've been working on her depth, and it's because she's got limitation in her ankle. She's a trail runner,
right.
She wants to just focus on strength in the compounds, as well as she's doing a thing called, do you know what the Tranter's Pass is?
No.
It's a fucking insane trail run. Not as insane as Sarah Webster's. Tranter's Round, it's called. I'll tell you how many, the distance of it. It's 18 Monroes.
Right.
It's, what is it? It's 59, it's 60 kilometers, but it's 5,800 meter ascent.
Bleh.
Yeah. And the record's 24 hours to do it.
And some people need volume for what they're doing, for their goals. If you are training for a marathon, guess what?
Yeah, you need volume, yeah.
You probably need volume. But for the people that are coming into our gyms, is who I'm talking about here, they don't need more volume. They need better. They need higher quality. They need to just do better when they're in the gym. They don't need to do more.
Yeah, you're talking Gen Pop people. Not someone that's training for an event or a competition or
something. When we were training for our High Rocks, I did a lot of skiing and biking, 3 of each every week on top of the power work that I was doing. And I've fallen in love with power again. It's a romance story. I'm engaged to power again. I'm absolutely loving feeling powerful.
Oh God, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It's better, I guess. It's better than being called Fat Tyler Watkins. Actually, no, I prefer Fat Tyler Watkins.
I
don't think fat was the term they used, but
no,
that's what they meant. That's what they meant to say. But these are new. I only got these on Thursday because I've been having migraines for months. By about 2 p.m. every day, I've been getting a sore head, and by 6 p.m. I can hardly see my screen. And I was thought it was just stress, and then I went and got my eyes tested, and they were like, "No, you need glasses." So these are prescription. These aren't for fashion.
Was it you who was telling me about how expensive glasses are the other day, or was that someone else?
Yeah, it was me that said I got ripped for nearly £500 for 2 pairs of glasses.
Jesus, that's bad, isn't it?
It's probably because I took Ray-Bans as well, though.
I've got an MRI coming up on my head. It's been 3 years since I've one.
Is it? Fuck, that doesn't. It's 3 years. I can remember when you sent the voice note from your last one into the chat about your little friend. Your little friend.
Yeah, it was February 2023.
Aye.
It's 26. It's 2026.
And
Mad, isn't it?
when did because I invited you to the chat. PK tries to take credit for it, but he never did it. And
he never invited me. The way that he introduced himself, I could scroll back a long way back, or just search it. He literally asked me for a dick pic. That's like
I didn't realize he was married with kids. I thought PK was a homosexual when he first started messaging me. Like,
it was literally the first message I ever got from him is, "Can I see your hog?"
Yeah.
But yeah, that's nice, and it's never changed.
Still
continues to ask me every week. So have you? So here's a question. I've got a hypothetical for you. Total tangent here. Would you create a perfect AI representation of you, and you do an OnlyFans with it?
Right. Nah, I wouldn't. Nah. No, because if I was going to do that, if it was identical to me, I may as well just do it.
No, but it's a gay one.
Well, that would probably be the only scenario that I would let the AI version do it. But no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't do that.
You wouldn't have a problem with that. Well, you're saying you would now, but like,
no, I wouldn't do it. But that would be the only version that I would do it.
Right. And what about like a heterosexual one?
Again, I wouldn't do it. But yeah, I suppose it frees up your time and then makes money. Yeah,
because you're not actually doing it. But if it was like perfect, but you knew it wasn't really you doing it, I guess it's the same as that thing about do you remember the Black Mirror episode? It might have even been the first one.
I didn't watch Black Mirror. I didn't want to watch
that fucked with my head, a lot of those episodes.
I thought you were going to ask a way different question to that when you brought up, would you create an AI version of you?
All right.
I thought that was going to be like to do with like coaching or something.
Oh, no. No, that's boring. But no, there's that hypothetical, isn't there, of like, it's the same thing. Like the Black Mirror episode was like the Prime Minister of England. This was the first episode. He gets put in this position where he's being blackmailed by like an anonymous character.
I've seen a clip, and that's when he's like with the pig and stuff.
Yeah. And they blackmail him to say, if you have intercourse with this pig, nothing happened. No one will ever find out. Only we know and you know. But if you don't do it, we will tell everyone, and there'll be evidence online that you did it. But we know you didn't do it, but everyone will believe you did.
It's like Richard Gere and the hamster, isn't it?
Yeah.
He should have just done it, and then out there.
Yeah. But the AI thing is quite interesting, I found. Like, and the like someone said to me the other day at the gym, are you worried about like AI taking over like your job? And I was like, not in the fucking slightest.
It can't coach.
No, it can't do what I do. It just can't do it. And the reason people go to gyms is to be around other people. The reason we do CrossFit is to be in front of people being coached. We know it's not the same thing.
Well, this is a good segue, because remember I said I was gonna about to post a story up on my thing just before we started, and then I was like, actually, no, I thought I would just talk about it on here. It's like, this is what I was going to talk about on my story, and it was like, I don't know if I follow people, obviously the coaches that I know, and then the other coaches in the space, and then because I was part of like a mentorship in the past, I follow people that just because I met them at events, I felt like polite. I've got most of them muted now. And then ones that I don't, I just mute them as they pop up, and I see something, and it's like, oh, fucking lame, just mute. Don't unfollow them, but I just mute them. And the reason I do that is like I've met these people in person, but then they post content online and they talk on their stories like they just like I don't see them speaking to like people just in real life. And I just thought I was gonna go on my story and say, if you ever see me like talking on my stories, like but being like, trying to like be a character, when they come on just like
Yeah,
that and they're talking with their hands all the time. And like, I guess
yeah,
I've probably done that in the past, but that's more of a nervous thing. But,
yeah.
and they're putting on this like persona, like this like online kind of coach, kind of like
Uh,
sitting in the
yeah,
chair, fucking like, I don't know. It's just, it's
yeah,
cringe.
yeah.
And like, but the thing is like people that build themselves into a character are just
Mm,
like, that's going to get exposed down the line.
yeah.
Because like a made up character is going to get exposed because you can't keep that fucking mask on forever. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like
Well,
I would
what's
I
that
would much
phrase?
rather, I don't know. Well, I would much rather be myself,
Mhm.
and like the people that come at me are going to come at me because of who I am and not who they think I am. Do you know what
Mm,
I mean?
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah,
that'll
yeah,
turn a lot of
yeah,
people off because it's who I am. But I'm fine
yeah.
with that. It's like CrossFit. It's like I'm for anyone, but
Mm,
not going to be for everyone. But the people that I do
yeah.
attract are the people that are going to buy into me because it's like, well, what they see is what they get, and I'm not
Mm.
someone that's like just trying to like be a character online.
I think you mature into that as you get older, don't you?
Yeah, and
Like, I
that's
think you
great.
realise
And
it,
AI
it.
can't do that.
No, 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 no. Exactly. But like, what's the fame is a mask it eats away at the face? Like
Yeah, that
this
doesn't for me.
mini, yeah, this mini dose of fame that people get because of likes and follows. This fame thing. It's a mask that eats away at the face. So people eventually start to believe in the fame that they've acquired through that, and it replaces what the face is underneath, and they forget who they are.
Mhm.
And I think, like you've just alluded to, take that away, and what are they? What have they got left? Like, what have you got left when you take away all of that stuff? Do you know what? I had a really fucking amazing conversation with the kids yesterday. Like they're at an age where they're actually starting to absorb and ask questions and shit now, and it's quite nice. So we sat down for 2 hours talking about values and about like morals and that kind of thing. Who's Grant with that? Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's a
Or,
good comment.
or his
I
hat.
like
Yeah.
yeah, I like that.
Um, but we were talking. I'll tell you why, because they were like, it was hammering down outside. That's
Mhm.
raining for Americans. And we they were like, "Oh, we've got to go out. Can we go out?" And I was like, "Why do you want to go out on this?" And they were like, "Oh, we got to build a den for everyone." And I was like, What are you on about?" And Donny said, "Yeah, this, that, and the other about some of the names." He said they told me that I had to build a den for everyone. I was like, "Right, okay." Like, I didn't like that, and I was like, "Okay." And I started asking them. I was like, "Do you know what worth means?" And Athena was like, "Well, something's worth something." I was like, "Yeah, yeah, kind of." But do you know what that means for a person? And then they're like, "No." And I said, "Well, what do you think value is? Like, what are your values?" We're talking about values. Um, and like I said to them, well, one of daddy's main values is truth. So everything that I do, I want it to revolve around truth, whether it's training, whether it's around work, whether it's about how I am as a person, whether it's how I interact with people, whether it's about money, whether it's that. Truth is always a bedrock value of mine. And that's a value, but that's not worth. When we were talking about worth, then we went on to self-worth. And like you know, with Adam, like they are worth the world to you. Like there's nothing physically able to be more important to you and have more worth than your kids. There's nothing. By definition, they are worth the world to you. And I said,
Mhm.
like, if ever you feel worthless, or you're not worth anything, or other people don't see your worth, come and talk to me, and I will explain to you how much you are worth to me. And what I want you to start to believe is about your self worth and about what your values are. Um, and it was this really nice thing where they started thinking, like, I've never had that conversation. My parents were telling me to fucking fuck off if I was like, it just wasn't a thing. What I like about our generation of parents, and I know you're Adam's a bit older than mine, um, is we're in this sort of mid phase where we grew up with the hard-nosed parents that didn't have the internet, that were doing it ad hoc, that used to slap us around, that were, you know, old school parents without all the tech and Google and the softy approach. But yet we understand that that's not what we want. And we've talked about this before, haven't we? Like, I wouldn't dare lay a hand on my kid. Like, it's not how I want to. And you, like, the idea of doing that is frightening to me. But we're at a point where we've got a wealth of knowledge. We've got the internet to help guide us. We've got long form podcasts. We've got like ebooks. We've got shows like this. We've got programs. We've got Google. We've got YouTube. We've got TED Talks. We've got all this information out here, and we've got this. We're in the middle. Like, we're the ones that have had to endure a certain type of parenting, but we're the first ones that, as a generation, we're implementing a new style of parenting to our children for the generation that's next. Like, because of all these tools that we've got access to that no other people have had in the past. It's a very different position. Like, I you know, I've learned all this shit about values and morals from listening to people, to learning. I didn't come up with this shit. Listening to fucking Rich and Austin and Rory talking. Like, that was when the start of the whole values thing came in for me.
I'd never thought about my values until I was in my 30s, until I was already a parent. And it was it was at a business mentor event, and it was a guy, what was his name? I wonder if we could get him on, because he was fucking brilliant.
Not Teeth Man, no.
No.
Okay.
It wasn't Chris. Okay. Oh fuck. It was Ross. What's he called again? I think he's actually called on Instagram the Motivational Dude. Like, that's his Instagram handle. And I thought, oh, this is going to be cringe, but he got us to do like this exercise, which was all about our values. And he just gave everyone a sheet of paper that had like 100 different words on it.
Okay.
And he was like, I want you to focus on the 5 words on that page that mean the most to you. He didn't tell us why, but he just was like, I want you to circle the 5 words on that page that like stand out and mean like the most to you. And then he did this. It was like 2 hours long. He does this massive big framework about values. And that was the first time I'd ever like actually thought about it. And I've still got that paper. It's up the stairs beside my bed.
Nice. Yeah. But like, has your dad ever sat down and thought about his values? Probably not. Like, probably not. Like, I know my dad hasn't. But they probably know they have them somewhere deep down, but they've never attached.
My dad was in a constant state of stress.
Yeah.
Like, and that was the vibe we got of him all the time. And that's not like no shade on him. It was just it was his upbringing, and it was 3 kids, scraping by, struggling with mental health, he was just constant state of stress.
Exactly. And this is what I mean. I think a lot of us had dads like that. Like, I know you are, like, a lot of working class lads growing up. Like, we learned a lot from our dads, and it's not to shame our dads, but they were living out the bringing up that they had. Like, the way that they were brought up, they're bringing us up with. But we are a generation of dads around the age of 40 that are now able to and are willing to, through education, through experience, through time of our life, we are able to understand what kind of upbringing we had, and then transform that and give our kids, our sons especially, a very different type of upbringing. And that's all through education. My dad can hardly read. Like, he can't really read. That's why he went into like body shop work. And like yours, he was very, very uptight and stressed all the time. But he was out the door at 6 a.m. every morning, getting back at 5 o'clock at night, eating his dinner, having a bath, and going to bed.
Yeah.
Like, that was what he did for our family. And again, like, I absolutely love my dad to bits. There's no hiding that. And what he did for us and how he brought us up, I wouldn't want to change it for the world, because that was my childhood. but we learn a lot from our dads. And if, like, what's worse would be if we weren't willing to change the stuff that we didn't like about our upbringing, rather than thinking, well, I had it, so you're going to have it too. It's like, I had it, but I know better than my dad.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've got a lot more education than my dad on how to be a dad. And you know what? I'm going to try it, and I'm going to go with it. And it's going to be tough.
Because it's funny, because I know we've had conversations where Donnie's done something,
yeah,
and you thought, like, you don't like it, and then you thought, well, my dad would have did X, Y, and Z, because, and then you thought back, well, I did this when I was his age, and I thought I knew better too.
yeah.
So you're trying to think, did your dad know better, or did you in fact actually know better back then, and you don't want to react in that same way? I've obviously got a different parenting experience. Adam's autistic, like communication disorder and all this kind of stuff, but we obviously still we probably face sometimes even more stressful situations. But
yeah,
I still then have to check myself and be like, I'm not going to react to certain things because it's just going to make a situation worse.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really difficult.
You know, whereas it could be a case of just like blowing the top, and it's like, well, no, that's not going to help anyone. It's not going to help me. It's not going to help him. No. It's not going to improve anything.
No.
You know?
No. And I know how my dad, like, did I tell you my mum and dad got me for Christmas? Well, my mum did it last year, not this year, just gone the year before. It was a USB stick with all of our family videos on from the age of like 4 until I was 16.
Oh, that's class.
She'd got it all put on, digitalized, and put on a USB stick, all folded and labeled up with what year, what month, like where we were at the time, all labeled, right? And one of them, she said, I didn't know whether to keep it in or not because I didn't know how you'd feel about it. And it's basically
her filming your dad giving you a scalped arse.
Yep.
What's it actually?
Yeah.
We watched back family videos, and when we were young, and it was my dad giving my brother an absolute fucking rollicking. But obviously, he'd set the camera down, and it was videotapes. He'd set the camera down while it's still recording, and he's giving him an absolute bollocking. Then he'd pick the camera up, not taking it out, and then we're sitting watching family videos, and it was my brother getting an absolute fucking bollocking, not getting belted or that, but similar kind of thing.
No.
Yeah, and that's what it was.
It was a really weird viewing experience though, because it was on my mum and dad's TV with me and the kids and my mum and my dad and Katie watching. And at that point, my mum paused it and said, I don't know if you want to watch this with the kids. And she kind of told me what was coming up. And I was like, no, it's fine. Like, it's part of it. I don't want to hide it away. And I'm sure it's not that brutal. And it's quite a quick lash out from my dad. It was like one of those ones where it went from 0 to 100, like bang, gone, done, around the arse, and I go off running and crying.
Yeah.
And I looked at my dad when it happened, like in real, like now, I was watching his reaction, and I could tell that he was a little bit like,
I bet he was uncomfortable.
He didn't like it. He really didn't like the fact that he'd done it. And I said out aloud, I at that point I had an option. I could either go one way or the other. I could either go, oh, that's not very nice, and then completely shame my dad in front of my whole family for something that happened 35 years ago. Or the other way, I could go, it's not too bad. And then what I'm doing to my kids is telling them it's okay for dads to strike their kids. Like that's okay. That's fine. That's part of normal. And what I said was, well, Grandad didn't know any better. And at the time, that's how things were done. But we're learning, we're moving on, and Daddy doesn't do that anymore. But I looked at my dad and I smiled, and it was like a big sense of relief for him that I'd gone, I'm fine with it. And also I hadn't shamed him in front of my family, because for him, that would have been shit. And we've all been there. Like we've always like with sons, like young sons, they're fucking idiots. They're a pain in the ass. And like after you've got stress levels up here, you've had a shit day. I don't know what kind of time my dad was in his life. I don't know what he was going through. I don't know what it was like at work. I don't know what the money situation was like. I don't know what stresses he was under. So I don't blame him because his dad did a lot worse than he ever did to me, like a lot worse. But this is what I mean. We're at this point as dads where we get to choose. We don't have to be like our dads were because we've got much better knowledge and understanding because we remember how it felt. Like I remember, and like you just alluded to, I remember going through stuff with my dad that I'm going through with Donnie. And like you've just said, I either need to agree that my dad was right when I was a kid or that my son's right now, either one or the other, because they're opposing. So in some respects, a lot of the time, I have to take a deep breath and agree with Donnie and say, you're right. But here's what daddy's thinking. Here's how we move on from this. And here's how we changed our behaviors and this kind of thing. It's a real tough because we grew up with dads that would just fucking snap and resolve issues physically. But I don't want to do that. I don't
like, as a parent, you're still growing and learning.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know what I
Yeah. No one tells you how to be a dad.
Yeah.
You learn on the job. What's this? That's still my biggest issue. 0 to 100 moments. I do so well and have a second to think about it. Yeah. I've had to very consciously slow down myself in moments, but I still fuck it up every now and again. And there should be no shame in that because again, no one teaches you. And as long as you're learning and as long as you don't do something really stupid, then you're all good. My grandpa yelled at my dad a lot, so he never yelled at me, but he also showed no emotion. The day I accepted my dad did the best he could with the tools he had, I was so free to be myself around him. Do you know what, Seema? That's nail on the head. As soon as you accept that your dad or your mum, but in this instance, your dad, did the best that they could with the tools they had, just like you were talking about earlier, Jon, about your clients. As long as you know that your client or your parent or your dad in this situation was doing the best that they could, what more could you ask for? You have to accept that, accept the people's shortcomings, give them grace, and you can move on. And it is so freeing.
Yeah, once you accept like the shortcomings or like just the effort that someone's going to put in, knowing that that's their best effort.
Yeah.
And that you can't do any more. Like it is freeing, isn't it?
Yeah. Like my mum told me this. My dad never told me, but my mum told me my dad drove 2 hours at Christmas to get a Ghostbusters action figure from the only shop because he was calling around the shops. He drove 2 hours up to Birmingham to get one up the M4, up the M40 to get an action figure for my Christmas present. It was only worth about £4 at the time. So that was my main Christmas present, was about £4 at Christmas. But I absolutely loved that Egon action figure that he got me. But he drove 2 hours to go and get this present. That was everything that he could have done with the money he had. Like, but other kids might have got, I don't know, a NES or something. Like, but he did everything that he could. What more could I want from a dad? Like, he gave me the best he could, and I'm so lucky that I had that upbringing. And I will treasure that. And it's when you find out, and as you get older, you learn this stuff about your parents that they did stuff at the time. It might have felt like it was bad or crushing or is against what you wanted to do, but like you learn.
You don't have the reference points to fully appreciate a lot of the stuff that they do. Because that's what I was saying. Like, my mum used to drive us. Well, we're up in the north of Scotland, and she used to drive us down to Glasgow for like concerts and stuff to see bands. And I used to just take that for granted. That she would drive us 4 hours. She would sit in the car park at the SECC while me and my two mates would go in and watch like bands. Like, she took us in like 99 to see Slipknot. So I was like 13 years old. 13 years old. She drove us 4 hours. We went in and watched Slipknot while she just sat in the car for 4 hours. And that was before there was like smartphones. So she's literally just in the car with like a crossword book.
Yeah.
For like 4 hours. And then we came out, we slept in the car on the way home while she drove 4 hours home.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like, I know I do that now, like myself, and I know how fucking knackered I am the next day trying to function. And she was still the one that was getting us up for school in the morning, taking us to school the next morning. It's like we didn't have much, but we had like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of like stuff. That's the kind of like parent that I want to be. And like that's how I am with Adam.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
Good.
Anyway, we could probably end it there.
Yeah. I feel like we need to do some
end it.
cool manly stuff. Anyway, all right. Cool. All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining us. It was an absolute pleasure this Sunday evening.
I'm trying to think who we could announce that we've got coming on.
Oh, we can say we don't have specific days and times yet, but we do have 2 lady people coming on soon. First of all is Lauren Smith. Lauren's coming on.
Oh yeah.
So we've got Lauren coming on. Thank you, Seema. Much appreciated. Thank you. Thank you, Sean. We've got Lisa Newman coming on, who is a Welsh rugby player who CrossFit did a piece on a little while ago. She's coming on the show to talk about CrossFit and how it affects, how it helps her with rugby and her conditioning and her strength and being an elite athlete. Who else we've got coming on?
We have also got Tyler coming on.
Yep, Tyler coming on to discuss things.
We also have Brian Friend coming on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, be rare. And Stephen's going on Brian's show.
Oh yeah, Stephen. We've been invited on that, by the way, but I just don't know when.
Oh right, okay. Yeah, Stephen's going on. Is it next Friday at like 11:30 p.m. our time?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, 11 p.m. it starts. Yeah. So yeah, Stephen will be on the next. What's it called? Fitness Under Fire.
Something like that. Yeah.
He's been on that.
Well, the week ahead, we've got some really good. So let me just.
If you haven't, you should definitely go and watch Hannah's show from this morning.
Oh man, like that's her first ever podcast she's hosted,
and she was a natural.
Nuts. She's an absolute natural, and she's an absolute beast as well.
I think I'll get Bryony on before she goes to Texas.
Yeah, please do. So in no particular order, I've got Farron coming on the 26th. So is that Thursday? No, yeah, Thursday. So yes, Thursday. I've got Farron coming on. We're going to talk about coaching development. We've got Tom Kingdon on Wednesday night with Steve. We're going to talk about possibly going to the games. We've got Gareth Waite coming on Tuesday morning with me to talk about CrossFit Open as an affiliate owner. And he's obviously the community support manager in the UK from CrossFit HQ.
We'll maybe get Kyle back on because he didn't make it on Friday.
Yeah, maybe. But we have got a whole host of shows lined up coming up, and also big one on
Nobody knows.
Why is that 9:30? That needs to change. On Thursday evening our time, we are going to be doing a 26.1 watch party on the channel. So we'll be live on Thursday when the announcement goes on. So we'll be watching that live all together and chatting about it on here. So that's what we'll be doing.
That's the 4 of us, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. That'll be fun. Cool. Anyway, thanks for joining us, everyone. I hope you have a splendid Sunday. Enjoy life, enjoy learning, enjoy developing, enjoy growing, enjoy being yourself. Jon, any final words?
Love you all. Goodbye.